Some breaking transfer news to bring you, and Chelsea are close to agreeing a deal with Rayo Vallecano for the transfer of left-back Pep Chavvaria. Well, talks have been ongoing between the clubs for more than a month, as Chelsea are looking to replace Marc Cucurella following his move to Real Madrid. So, at 28 years old, Chavarría possesses the experience that Chelsea are looking for, as we've seen, to add to their young squad this summer. He started the Conference League final with Rayo Vallecano last season as they lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace. We'll keep you across that and any other transfers, of course, as soon as we get any extra info. Now,
well, here we have the latest. David Ornstein about Pep Chavvaria, saying Chelsea on the verge of agreement with Rayo Vallecano to sign Pep Chavvaria. Permission for 28-year-old left-back to take medical expected to be granted and personal terms in place. Clubs on good terms as work advances to complete Rayo to Chelsea switch. I've seen reports online, I don't know if this is legit, that apparently it's not even 21 million, it's 16 million with add-ons. Well, what was the hold-up? It doesn't make any sense. I'll be honest, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. 16 million. I don't think that's the case. If it was 16 million, this deal would have happened time ago. he'd be at pre-season right now for Chelsea. I don't think that's the case, if I'm being completely honest. But apparently, deal done. Like I said, in terms of what I'd heard and what from a couple of days ago, it was clenched and it was all done. Right, the player apparently is already in London, waiting to get a medical done. David Ornstein's now come out and said, yeah, that's going to be granted. It's going to be granted. He'll get it cracking. He'll become a Chelsea player. He heads off to pre-season. So Pep Chavvaria, with the strikes that he put on at Rayo Vallecano because he wanted the move so bad, well, it looks like it's paid off. So Pep Chavvaria on the way to Chelsea, and we're going to be getting ourselves a brand new left-back, left-wing-back, someone that can adapt and play in both systems. Let me know your thoughts on that. It is a request by Xabi Alonso. It is a target by Xabi Alonso. It's someone that Alonso does want. And at 28 years old, I think it's safe to say we have fully broken the model on this one. Fully. I mean, we kind of did it with Lacroix, who's 26 years old. This one's 28. We've got Welbeck and Henderson at 36 and 35. You know, big up the pensioners. Big up the nursing home that we're building at Chelsea, it seems. Shout out to the OAPs. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on that one. More news. Tottenham. Here's the latest. Tottenham are interested in Jackson, according to Kieran Gill. We also have from Fabrizio Romano saying nothing close or imminent regards to Jackson and Tottenham. Don't forget interest from Aston Villa, and I will tend to agree with Fabrizio Romano on this one. Even though if Tottenham are interested, fantastic. That'll be 100 million, please. Yes. Yeah. 65 for everyone else, 100 for you because you're Tottenham. Simple as that. But even if Tottenham want him, I don't think he goes there. I think part and parcel of everything that we saw with Morgan Rogers, Garnacho, blah, 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 scratch my back, I scratch yours. I expect Jackson to head off and play for his old manager, Unai Emery, at Aston Villa, and find himself more at home there compared to Tottenham, where I think he has a chance of it being a little bit too, what's the word that I'm looking for here? Bumpy? I think Aston Villa has a better pathway for Jackson than Tottenham, if I'm being completely honest. Yes, he's got to move from London to Birmingham. I get that. However, I think it would suit him much more. So, Nicholas Jackson, expect movement, and he will be sold. For anyone panicking on the outgoings right now, look, I'm going to get to that in a sec, yeah? But the outgoings are outgoing like they've never outgoinged before, yeah? That doesn't make any sense, but still, for us it makes sense because that's how crazy it's going at the moment, right? We are expecting huge movement in terms of players leaving the club, and it looks like they are already beginning. Jackson is going to be no different. Watch out for the striker position as well as all the defenders that we know are going to be heading out the door. Now, shall we talk about one player, right? It's funny because I mentioned this. When did I mention this? When did I mention it? Well, let me show you. Here it is. Check this out. And then I'll show you when I mentioned it. Exclusive, Manchester City make direct contact with Pedro Netto's camp as talks start over possible move. Netto among Manchester City targets if Savinho goes to Spurs, while he's also understood to be on Tottenham's list as backup option. Deal also depends on Chelsea's valuation. Now, do you remember when we were talking about Neto being linked with Saudi, but he was also linked with Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham? Yeah, and then Man City did come into the mix. They did come into the mix, right? And if I'm gonna bring it up, July 24th. That was 10 days ago. Yeah, 10 days ago was when I mentioned this. Do you see now Alonso is running things? It's amazing to see, fully in control. Our doubts are put to bed. Watch out for Pedro Netto to City as a possibility. July 24th. Maresco's always going to start snooping and looking around our players, and there's more than one. Neto, Gusto, maybe, it's not quite there yet, but maybe down the line, Enzo Fernandez. Maybe.